Perfect, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, just to show an example here, this will be a President's Cup. This is an old, oh, yeah, thanks, Jay. This is an old CTF that was previously done. And so we have the ability to import different pieces of content in here. And so this specific one, there's a virtual environment that'll spin up here. So unfortunately, right now, the dev team is actually putting in, I just got wind that they're putting in a new SQL database that will spin up. And so the actual back end is under construction right now since they're doing that. So I can't actually spin up the lab today, unfortunately. Jay and I were testing this.
But tell her how fast it spins.
Yeah. So for example, this one, this President's Cup, when you click Start Lab here, it'll load all of the virtual environments that complement whatever piece of content you're training on here. And so there'll be a spot underneath here that says resources. And on this specific one, it's a Kali Linux box. And we've done testing on this specific lab environment, and the lab spun up in less than 5 seconds, which is amazing. Our cyber range manager, Joey Huggins, and I were in the room when we got the first demo of this, and he got goosebumps. I didn't quite know what I was seeing at the time.
So I didn't understand all this being non-technical, or I didn't understand it until we started doing the research on kind of some of the other big out of the box, cyber hack the box, some of the other industry standard type stuff. And I mean, environments take anywhere from 5 to 15 to 20 minutes sometimes to spin up. And so that eats up, especially if you're using it in the academic environment, you know, it eats up half a class to get the kids spun up into virtual machines. So sorry, I stole your
No, you're good. That's exactly right. And yeah, we're really focused on performance. And so new hosting machine, and as we get additional machines online, their performance will only improve. And so it's really exciting to see the kind of the underlying infrastructure on the platform so far.
Definitely. And I hate to even ask, but like, any idea or even just a guesstimate on how close we are to launching?
So right now we are, just to kind of give you a heads up on where the progress is right now, we are tying up loose ends on the front end. I've been told anywhere from 1 to 2 weeks on that, kind of finishing up some of the initial pieces there. And then we're actively working on, now that we have Maria Singh hired, actively working on getting the content integrated into the platform right now. And so if that all goes smoothly within the next 1 to 2 weeks, we should begin beta testing as early as March. So yeah, it's exciting. We're pushing really hard right now to get all of that done in the platform. So,
and we're also, I'll just jump in, is that you are 100% a priority for us in terms of meaning to have that Google, like that's the first pathway that we will want to be available, because we know that it's ready to be used, and we have students too now on our side. Thanks to you for, you know, on our partnership on that, like we have people that are ready for it. So that will be one of the primary focuses when we are ready, is to have that content available to get kids into it, and adults as well. But
yeah, so we're just finalizing on organizing all of the content on the front end, because in terms of organizing content, the front end piece is not very intuitive in terms of how it's designed. So we've had to do a little bit of custom work on our end, which is where some of the delays occurred. But we're moving now, which is really exciting.
Show some of the show the badge stuff.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that's also what we're working on right now, is taking the content that we'll have available and creating different badges. And like I said, the front end experience will only improve, but this is just an example. If you take a networking course with Nmap, you know, based on certain criteria or objectives of content, that will map to a specific badge. And so I'm thinking, you know, Grow with Google will have its own badge, and all of the, you know, necessary content that we've deemed as, you know, for complementing Google will be all organized and have a badge at the end of that. So where a user could go into the platform and say, you know, here's exactly what I've taken in terms of content. Here's the badge that matches up with that. And then our next steps with the badging process is to take each of the badges that we will have available and present that to practitioners in industry. And they say, you know, this equates to this role, or whatever the objective is. they can validate that in terms of what that hands-on experience is within the range.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I imagine those will be shareable or postable for
Yeah.
LinkedIn. They'll be
Yep.
huge.
Absolutely, and then the student will actually be able to capture that in their digital wallet, which we're working on right now as well. So all really exciting stuff.
Definitely.
Or
Awesome.
anything else you can get into? I thought there, or what about Topo Mojo?
Yeah, I was going to show you kind of the topology builder in the back end. You might find that somewhat interesting. So I'll switch over to that. So we have the front end piece is that the Moodle that I just showed, and we're done a lot of customization on top of that. But this is the topology builder where we can take different virtual machines and environments and import this into our own builder. And so I showed that President's Cup, that last CTF, you know, we can take different experiences or content and actually create our own on this within this kind of infrastructure here. And so I'll just show some of the workspaces here. So we can add our own courses, like I said, and let me see if I can find it. Here we go. So this is where we add all of the different environments or flavors of virtual machines. And so one example is we just put in Windows 10 last week. And so Windows 10 spun up in less than 30 seconds, which at times can be faster than my own computer, which is crazy.
Yeah, I was gonna say it takes longer than 30 seconds for my desktop to start up.
Yeah. So performance has been rock solid, and then we'll have Ubuntu on there if you're familiar, and then some Kali Linux, which is really offensive security. We'll have a SQL database that's getting imported right now, which is why I can't demo anything. But this is also where we'll put in all of our the game spaces here. We can actually create our own capture the flag experiences and do competitions within this kind of topology builder.
Nice, nice. Very nice. Now, for topology, is that basically like a diagram of what you're doing, or is it actually saying, okay, if you want this, go to this machine. If you want that, go to that machine?
Yeah, so this is actually where we create all of the different virtual machine environments and put different flavors on it. And so as an example, if you want a Windows 10 machine with, you know, a certain set of networking tools, we can kind of create that within this topology builder and then pull it into the front end based off of whatever we want to create here. And so all of the creation is handled within the topology builder, and then we bring it into the front end into the LMS, which I just showed.
Nice. Very, very nice.
So
This
yeah,
is
it's a
super
neat tool.
exciting.
Yeah, we've come a long way in such a short amount of time, for sure.
It seems like it. You know, you guys are putting together, it's obviously huge. And I'm just so glad to see that we're so close to deploying it. This is going to be incredible. I can't wait to get into it and learn more about cybersecurity myself. I figure, you know, it might be helpful if I'm pretty good at it too, if I'm supporting these people.
Yeah, well, you will have first access, so yeah, we're
Awesome.
excited.
Awesome.
And we're on the machine stuff. Oh, did you get the label, by the way, that Josh sent?
It is on its way back to California. Yeah, I
wanted to make sure. Yeah, so we've had some additional meetings. We're gonna be doing a little bit of a Southwest Kansas tour. So we're going to Sublette, where there's a regional service center. And they've invited the districts in. So this is maybe something to consider also, and where you are, and maybe we could work in tandem on it. We'll see how it goes. But the idea was, they offered to host a machine. So we're gonna go down and just kind of do the EKC ecosystem. This is what's available to try to preview it for the 24-25 school year, to say like, hey, here's what's going to be available to students, and here's the pathways that you can go. But I think we're gonna stop at Garden City Community College. And then, yeah, that's kind of our hope. We're hoping that we could deploy a lot of machines in that area if some of the schools get on board. And then we've got a couple other sort of bigger swings on distribution channels to get the machines out, but that's where one of our biggest focuses right now is, just because we want obviously the performance, and we want everybody to have a machine so that the range. I don't know if we told you, did I tell you we're gonna make it free for higher ed too?
No.
higher ed students in K through 12. So we've been kind of on the fence, at least on, we knew K through 12, we wanted to make the range no cost. And then with K through 12, we were thinking like maybe a discounted model. And then we just decided we're gonna go full on no cost for higher ed students as well. So that we're hoping that will also get people excited about using it, you know?
Yeah, now when you say higher ed, does that mean they need to be enrolled at a college somewhere to qualify, or is it kind of an age thing as well?